Hi, everyone. How are you today? I hope that you're having a great day or evening whenever you are watching this video right now. It's actually Monday. I just finished work yeah, a few hours ago. It's evening, and I thought I would make a quick video about one of the services in Azure that I'm interested to learn and find out more. And instead of like reading it myself on my own, I thought I would record myself as I go through the documentation. So, what, as you can see on my screen right now, I plan to check a bit about Azure Web PubSub. It's one of the new services in Azure. It's used for real-time messaging that needs to use WebSockets or public subscribe pattern. So one of the examples that you can use with this is that, for example, if you want to make chat programs or chat applications, or if you want to do uh, live broadcasting, as it says here, and also Internet of Things dashboard or IoT dashboards. So it's happening real time. The great thing about it is like it's fully managed, and it support most of the common programming languages right now. So it's like also Azure Functions or serverless. That the main highlight of this Azure service, is to focus on the application logic and not the infrastructure. So the good thing, one of the features as well, is that you can engage your users or customers real time, and you can build advanced services with Azure Web PubSub because you can integrate it with Azure Cognitive Services and also protect them with Azure Security. So you can set it just like other serverless or services in Azure. You can you can scale it, and there's a flexibility for you to use the consumption model for that. And actually, on the Azure or Microsoft documentation website, you will see a link here, which actually leads to one of the episodes that was provided or published on Azure Friday last June 2021. So it's been a while. I haven't used it myself personally in my project, but it seems interesting, especially if you want to build uh, chat demo, chat applications that requires WebSockets and do something real time. So if you have time, you can definitely check this out. I'm gonna save it in my own Microsoft Learn. And did you know that on your Microsoft Learn or Microsoft Docs, you can actually, like, for your Microsoft Learning, you can actually save a collection. So, for example, here, if I want to learn about Azure Web Pub Sub, you can actually save it to a collection. So next time I see more examples about Azure Pub Subs, I can always go through that collections, or it's like bookmarks, but it's internally in Microsoft Docs. So this is interesting. So here you can see the features which I told you, and when it comes to security, Just like other security services, there in Azure, it's you can it's secured, and there are actually documentation and quick start examples in here. So, for example, if you click on examples, so there are actually Azure's GitHub repo for Azure Web PubSub already. I see that the C Sharp and this repo samples were updated 4 days ago. So you can check on the examples for C Sharp, where you can have a chat app, PubSub examples here in a simple chat demo. And also there's an example for Java if you want to code Java, and also for Azure Functions. Currently, it's, I believe, the example for Azure PubSub in this is in Functions in JavaScript, but it looks like there is also an example for C Sharp here, which I'm very interested to try out and play around actually. So it's interesting, and there's also an example for JavaScript and Python if you want that. And as for a quick start, if you want to do a quick start, there are actually some examples here. For example, if you want to try to get started with the Cloud Shell, Azure CLI, so you can actually do that directly on your Azure portal. So, for example, here you have the CLI command to create your resource group, and then you create your instance. And when you're done with your instance, you're gonna connect to your service this way, and you can also establish a connection using a WebSocket and publish your messages and manage your clients. So we can actually, there are a few examples. I thought I would just give you right now an overview about it, just to give you an introduction on the documentation. So here they have like Microsoft has a link to the documentation. Aside from the CLI, the guide here, there's a documentation to or the guide or a guide, the documentation guide, and also link to test around live demos in here. So when I clicked on that, you will be able to test, get to this website, demos. So there are several examples. So there's like a whiteboard demo, a simple chat, and there's also a code streaming examples, and there's also a scoreboard examples. So for example, if we want to just like test the simple chat. So let's see. Let me write Jonah, and I'm gonna do connect. So it shows here that web client is open. So Jonah has joined. And for example, if I'm gonna go to another window, let's see. Jane Doe connect, and a new socket is open in here. And here you see, even if I actually opened the demo for Simple Chat in another window, it showed that Jane Doe came in and was joined the Simple Chat. So I'm gonna say hi to hi Jane Doe. Are you on another Chrome tab? Let's see if Jane Doe answers. All right, and then let's see. Oh, look. So Jane Doe, if I checked on my second tab for the simple chat, you see that Jane Doe got a message from Jonah and asking if she was on a different Chrome tab. And Jane Doe answered, yes. How did you know that? Did you know that? So, and let's see on the other window. Yeah, so it looks like this is also a great example here with with a simple chat. It's very simple. The reason why I'm interested to show you this demo, because when I found out about the Azure Web PubSub, I actually thought, and I actually kind of feel bad that I missed it. I feel bad that I missed it when it was like officially released for the first time, because I probably have done some demos and examples in my own personal project, but I was focused too much on doing demos or examples for Azure functions and trying it out myself. But this one is interesting because this example for Simple Chat reminded me when I was studying Java networking, when I was studying Java development. And I remember we were learning about concurrency and having a client and a web server, and then you're gonna create your own chat app. And this is interesting, and I think I'm gonna like do more hands-on in this, specifically on the language that I like coding, C sharp, and maybe with Azure functions, and publish it or host it in Azure. So yeah, I thought I'd get started checking out these examples with you in here. So there are other examples here. For example, code stream, and scoreboard, if you want to check it out here as well. And then there's also whiteboard to put in our name here. So it looks like someone doodled here already. So, hey, okay. So someone doodled this one already. So I think if I'm gonna open a new tab for this, and I'm gonna say I'm Jane Doe. Look, it shows that it showed here that even though I was logged in as Jane Doe on this second tab, it showed that Jonah, the first person, or I myself, wrote doodled a star in here. And you see that since I have whiteboard in one tab and then another whiteboard as Jane Doe, you notice that it shows here that there are two users online. So I this is really interesting. So that those are the examples, and you can check out the video about it in Azure Friday. It's a good one. And if you want to play around creating a chat app or using Azure CLI commands on the quick start, you can also do that in some repos here. And here's my Azure Portal. So if I'm gonna go to create a resource and search for Azure Web Pub Sub, no results found. Let's see if I yeah, it's called Azure Web PubSub Service. So let me add it to my favorite. So if you want to create one through the portal, so as on the quick start examples, you can get started creating it just like creating other services through Azure Portal. But you can also create it on uh, directly, like another way, by going to your portal and then create a new one. For example, RG dev AZ web pub sub demo today, and my service, maybe Jonah testing demo. And then I can choose my region. For example, I want to, oh, not all, not so much region to choose from. But since I am in Sweden, I can choose Sweden as one of the region that I have. And in here, the default, as you can see, I see that the default selected is standard, and it allows you to have 1,000 connections for 2 million kilobytes messages per day. That would cost me about, for example, if I'm gonna pay for this, so it would cost me 429 crowns, Swedish crowns per month. And this is what it look like. And I see that there are two pricing tiers to choose from. So, for example, that's the cost for standard. But if I'm just testing it around, so there's an option for a pricing tier for free for dev and test only purposes. And since I'm only testing it around, I'm gonna go for free for now. And then I can change the standard later when I have an official plan of what I'm gonna build. But as you can see here, if you have a free, you can get up to 20 connections. But if you don't have standards, you can get more, like for example, 1,000 connections per unit. And as for outbound, you can get 40,000 kV unit per day. And for standard, you get like 2 million. And the additional outbound for free is not supported, but for standard, it's unlimited. And the difference between the free and free pricing tier for this service is that for the standard, you get an SLA. However, both of them has SSL protection for that. So that's good. So let's say if I'm just gonna test uh, free for dev test purposes only, which allows me to make 20 connections and 40,000 kilobytes messages per day, which is included. So, so the next option, if to choose or to decide from, is if you want to be able to connect to this web pub service through a public endpoint or private endpoint. And since I'm not, oh, this is good. Since I'm only doing it locally right now for dev purposes, it looks like the free account doesn't support private endpoints. So what I can do is I can create uh, uh, it in standard. And there I can set up, for example, if I had standard as my pricing tier, then I have the option to select private point. And if I want to set up my private point, this means that I would need to create my private endpoint and networking, my VNet, as well as your my private DNS integration and DNS zone. So I don't need to do that right now. So I'm gonna switch back to free tier, but it's good to know if you're if you really want to protect your web PubSub service with through a private endpoint. So you would need the standard pricing tier, and you have the option to set up your private endpoint with your networking security settings. So for now, I'm gonna use select uh, the public endpoint, and let's see. When I'm done with that, create. So it's deploying right now, and I'm gonna. This is just an example. I think I'm gonna develop this further. I plan to create something something good in this. Maybe that would be useful for my day, useful or something practical. So I'm gonna build something. We will see how much time I have to devote for this specific mini project that I have. But this is how it looks in here. I have my public web PubSub service demo service created, and here I have my host name. It's in hosted in Sweden, Sweden Central Data Center, and it's still creating actually. But while we're waiting, we see that I already have the option to connect to a service. So they have like a quick start. The live demos that we checked, it's actually the same, and then you can also use some examples in here. So while it's creating, we have that options, and it looks like you can actually use different SDKs and tools for this service. And there are within Azure Portal, you also have actually tutorials that I believe is linked to Microsoft Learn. So there are a lot of things you can do with this. So I'm very interested to try it out. I'm just actually looking around here, and it looks like you can do, for examples, set up the key here, identity, networking. So you can either have that system assigned or user assigned. So this is great. And yes, so there are troubleshooting guide, and if you want to curious about the frequently asked questions, it looks like you can actually use Signal or service along with this as well. And the Azure Web PubSub is also ready for production because it's in GA. And here also was an interesting FAQ questions. Where does my data reside? So the answer is Azure Web PubSub Service works as a data processor service. It won't store any content, consumer content, and data residency is included by design. So if you use Web PubSub Service together with other services like Azure Storage for diagnostics, you can actually there's a white paper about that and how the data residency works for the Azure region. So yes, so this is really interesting. So definitely check out this service in Azure because I will also do it myself. Yes, so I hope you learned something with my my own go through the documentation for this service. I usually just I like looking around and reading documentations, and if you want to learn more, so feel free to visit uh, Microsoft Docs for this. All right. Thank you so much and have a great day or evening. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.